No, I'll be at Carolyn's tonight and available in the
You're going
morning.
to stay at Carolyn's tonight. Okay, I missed that. And then, why would you not talk with the librarian and see if there would be any objections to you just leaving your stuff up here? I don't know, or do you want to pack it all away and
Doesn't matter.
unpack it? Okay, if it doesn't matter. Mrs. Hayes, you'd want to check with her to see if you could leave your things here.
Depends on probably if they have any use for this room tomorrow,
Yes, that's the reason you
because
have
it's
to
not
ask.
hard to pack up at all. Okay, calling Charlie.
And then you don't know really what Charlie is going to do, whether he's going to do everything via computer or if he would come over from, well, he's in West Lafayette.
It's only about 40 minutes from here, 35, 40. Do you know the story about Irma Walker? She was an avid Methodist, very.
I know who you're talking about.
Well, so but she's very. She didn't like to cook.
She didn't like to,
Cook.
okay,
So she did very little cooking. She had guests and all, but they brought things and so on and so on. So anyway, she was well known for how the churches always have the carrying dinners. So she would always bring, I think it was a jar of applesauce. Standard procedure, And so she was just known for that, but being a very regular, good Methodist, she was always there, always known
I
that.
could bet on it.
So when she died, they actually put in her casket, they put a jar of applesauce.
Well,
What a character she was. When she loved the ice cream shop,
I'll bet she's sorry they put that applesauce.
I don't know. We have no messages
Oh,
to
gosh.
tell us. But
Where is she?
where she buried at?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, not here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, here, I presume.
Out at Riverside?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I was out at Riverside last week. Whoever it is that mows, whoever it is that takes care of that, beautiful.
Is that right?
And the high school,
Uh-huh.
the high school grounds are just immaculate. I mean, they're noticeable.
Oh.
And I know, I've never seen them better kept.
Oh. I've never noticed them, good or bad.
Well, I understand that, but Doug was here, and so we made a trip
Oh,
out
of
to
course, of
the
course.
cemetery and
Of course, yeah.
then just reminisced a bit about the high school, and it's beautiful.
That's good. They do have it, did I tell you that they have a case of COVID now there?
Have a what?
A case of, a virus, a case now,
Oh, out at the,
high school.
oh, I don't hear any of that stuff.
I just heard it this morning. One thing she would do, Irma, she had feet trouble, didn't like to walk a lot, but she loved to go to the ice cream store,
Yes.
over here. Just
Yes.
2
yes,
blocks
yes.
away. So
Yes.
she'd just go over there in her slippers. She wore them all the time. So I can remember it was it was the last week of their sale. You know how they always advertised that you get special, so that they could sell out their ice cream. They had special prices to empty their ice cream shelves. So she walked over. I remember that day, we were good friends, and so we said, where do you see this? Well, she'll be over she'd be sure to get ice cream there because that was her daily trip anyway. So sure enough, she had walked over there in her slippers to get ice cream that last, because it was fall by then, you know, it closes in the fall. But she had walked over there in her slippers to get ice cream at the special price.
Everyone thinks that ice cream place is sort of special.
Yeah.
Who were the people that had that before? Are they, I knew them as well as I know my known name and I can't think of it.
Wolves. They owned both of them.
Were they the last people, Wolf's? Wolf's Candies?
Mm-hmm.
It's just remarkable how the place is kind of wrinkled and changed
It doesn't look
over
very,
the last 40 years.
for sure. Julie worked at the ice cream place when it was the bank. Remember that place?
No,
that
I
ice cream
don't.
store?
But I remember when Mr. Wheeler was here.
Oh, yes.
Mr. Wheeler, the old man. That's the earliest. That's Steve worked there, and Doug worked for Gus Schmid
Oh, yes.
on the farm,
Yes.
and Tim.
You know what I always remember about Steve, and I'm sure it was Steve, and I always pass that on as good advice given. He said, that when he worked out at Harrison's, that the only way he got through working every day was every hour was, well, there's another $5,
Probably.
and then that's the way he got through the summer.
I suggested to, is it Carol or Carolyn?
Carolyn.
Okay, that we meet for dinner at Crossroads, my treat, and that she join us after the meeting.
In the morning, you're talking
Tonight,
tomorrow.
for dinner, tonight.
Oh my, well, did you set the time?
No, just for her, we're gonna eventually have to go somewhere. And that seemed like a good place to go, and then she could join us when her meeting's over.
And has she,
No, I'm just sending it to her.
oh,
It would be, I'm sure, okay with, I mean, if, depending on her meeting, she had this, and I don't know what this meeting was a church meeting, but I don't know what.
she said 6 o'clock to meet someone.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't pick it all up.
They've got a new minister, and so they're doing business there.
And now this is at the Methodist Church?
She belongs to the Christian church.
Oh, out here?
Uh-huh. He's a new young minister.
Oh, well,
Brand new, just a couple weeks old.
I didn't realize,
The
Chris,
man had been
Please
there
join
before
us
he
after your
retired.
meeting, question mark.
what was I
Whenever
going to
that
say
is.
about that? I have, June Christie meets with the senior group there, and she has a meeting coming up sometime in September. She called me to give a talk.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'm going to give a talk on.
You can choose.
Well, but I have to figure out, I'll have to look at my calendar and see what day that is in September. So at the moment, I just know I'm going to do it, but I don't know what
I've
it
only
is.
been there once, but it was pretty big
Group?
The Christian church basement is a pretty big place.
Yeah.
You've been there before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
okay.
There was a minister there, she was a woman from the Methodist Church. Did you know her?
Just who she is.
Who lived, I think, at Portland Arch.
Oh.
But I met her, but I couldn't recall now her name. And she was with June Christie's group. Well, then I met the second time, that was when Bob Shefford gave his talk about his
The sculptures?
sculptures.
Yeah.
And
I
she,
like the one at the library.
yes, I think that's one of the best ones.
Yes.
There's-
That one in front of Watson's filling station, I cannot understand why anybody would buy that.
Isn't there one of just a bicycle tire? It's just a round black circle.
But that's not the one I object to. The one I object to it looks like those black circle things, tubes. Then I think they're supposed to be fingers with a blue box up there somewhere at Watson's, right by the traffic light. It just seems.
Yeah, I've seen them, probably seen them all. They pop every,
No, but that one I think is.
ominous, truly ominous. I like the eagle,
Yes.
the first one. I like the one of the goddess.
Yes.
I think that's an attractive one. But I don't know the significance of the seahorse. There by the ice cream stand.
I guess it's a nice seahorse if you know seahorses. Yeah. You know that phrase, beauty is in the eye of the beholder?
And they're all so different.
Yes, yes.
They're all so different. And I don't know who he gets to do them. He must
Well, they're
know
all-
the person.
They're all different. I mean, he researches them he's really into choosing
So they're
them.
significant to
Him,
him at least.
right.
And maybe Melinda. You know, Melinda's,
Melinda always defers to him. When you ask anything about them, she always says it's Bob's.
Melinda's a certified teacher, did you know that?
Oh, yeah.
But she would never she never would teach. She was often asked, not
Sure.
often, but, periodically I would say, why don't you? And there was just,
She never ever did.
no, never did. And I don't know what's become of either. I think Craig is a teacher. I think he's in a
He's like
counseling.
a guy, yeah, counselor, yeah. You saw, well, of course you saw on Facebook the significant honor that Brian got
I don't know anything, Brian. No, I don't.
it was just on Facebook this past week, that's why I assumed you knew. He's president of an international firm now, just now,
That doesn't surprise me really.
right.
Um,
He's done,
Both those boys
yeah.
were capable. And if Craig
Craig's an outdoors,
stumbled along the way
yeah.
early on, but then he went to school and got his degree, and
He's an outdoors person. He's always doing.
camping out, and
He's done the Appalachian Trail.
yes he did. Yes he did. And I remember when Bob drove out to Connecticut or somewhere in the east to meet him on his walk.
Oh, really? Yeah.
But that's been a long time ago.
I don't think you can. I don't know anybody that's even connected with Bob anymore. I don't think he can speak well enough to even.
Who?
He never, Bob
Oh,
Shepherd.
Bob Shepherd. I
Because,
don't know.
well, the place that I would hear him would be at Landmarks, and Landmarks has canceled all their meetings for the COVID thing. So
See, I just have different feelings about this virus thing than most people have. Where I go to the Covington Community Center, and that's what I have on for tomorrow. No masks, no one wears masks. And I mean, it's just like the rest of the world goes on.
I hope,
Well, so do I. Do you wear masks?
absolutely,
Do you?
absolutely.
Well, my sons do.
Yes, I think I have it. Oh, I guess I left
which
it in my
is
purse.
really something that,
Everybody in my family does. Well,
Yeah.
not, yeah, because they all, well, Scott and Felicia both work where they must, but, Julie, of course, is teaching, so of course she does. Larry works at Macy's, so of course he does.
I wanna see Macy's. Macy's is on my mind, because does he work still in the men's department?
Yes.
Is there special days that he works? Or is
He's
it a
on
hit and miss?
shift, yeah, no, oh, no, no, there is no special day he works. You mean like always every Wednesday? No, he's on.
When I go in there, am I going to find him?
Well, he's gotta work the next 7 days, I know,
Okay.
so,
So,
but, so it's irregular.
I need some more trousers and,
Well, I can tell you this, he had 7 days straight, and so he's worked 2 of those days, counting today, so that he will be there the next 5 days.
yeah, so I will,
So
I will see, it'll
He has
give me
to.
something to do also,
he would be happy to do that.
yeah.
Please, yeah, having retail, two of my family in retail means that they have only the lowest opinion of the human race. And so it's like, the tales between he and Carissa, it's like,
I will try to improve his.
that's what I'm gonna say, so please sound not offensive or,
Let us, where are we in your agenda
I'm trying to
right
get
now?
a message to Carolyn to meet us after church, and it's not working out real well.
The person you were talking about, the lady who didn't like to cook, always say,
that's
I
a
eat
lot
it.
of, that's a lot of women, I know.
I eat it, oh, I understand it.
Me included,
Everything I do, I think about the work involved.
I know,
I look back and I think, how did Margie do all of this?
yes, that's right.
How did she do all of this? And that kind of thing. And I think I was a good husband, and now I sometimes think, maybe I wasn't as good as I thought I was.
Yes, I can see it from a different point of view now, yeah.
I do, and I see people who have these beautiful homes, and I think, how do they keep them clean?
A lot of them have help that come in and clean once a week, that's how they do
And
it.
how can those who help,
But Carolyn Carlson runs that house
I know
herself.
she does.
She does the cleaning of it, because I've heard her say, I've got a da-da-da-da-da.
And I've seen her in her cleaning vestments.
Okay. I never
And
have.
know that she was doing that when I happened to be there.
Mhm. Yeah,
Um,
so, yeah, she works hard. She's a very busy person. She chooses that, I mean, that's her own fault, but still, she
Works
is
like a
very
dog.
involved. So, if she has a meeting, it may very well be,
Does she have anyone that at all that comes in and helps her?
I don't think so.
Wow.
She has had it at times, but I don't think she does now.
Phew.
And she doesn't do she is responsible for the venue. She doesn't, the scrapbooking.
For the what?
For the venue, the place itself.
Oh, okay.
So she is in charge of none of the business arrangements for it. Her daughter-in-law is, Andy's wife, and Andy's wife and Andy's mother-in-law's, see, his wife and her mother-in-law are the business of it. But the place itself is Carolyn's responsibility.
Yeah.
So That's a major job.
It certainly does. And she's not there all the time either. You know,
No.
she's in the east
She goes to
with one of the
Washington
boys, or,
to visit that family. She's very close to her children.
yes. Excuse me. Who at the crossroads is Jeannie?
Jane.
Janie, the last name, Janie what?
Don't know.
I know there's a couple sisters that work out there, and that name isn't one of them. I mean, Janie just doesn't, I have to know the last name.
I don't know any of their names. I don't go there very often. I haven't been anywhere eating out very often.
I started to Greencastle yesterday to meet with my great granddaughter and her husband and their children. That's where Steve lives. Do you remember what it was like at 9 o'clock yesterday morning?
No.
Well, you could sit where I'm sitting there and probably see as far as that wall. I mean, there was a thick fog.
Oh, no.
I traveled almost to Crawfordsville, ran into a damn detour,
Of course.
and it took me off to New Richmond, a place I do not know. I turned around and came home. By the time I got home, it was about 10:15, and it was so clear I could have driven anywhere.
Oh, dear.
But it
me.
was, I'll tell you, it was like driving in a thundercloud.
Just couldn't see anything.
It wasn't raining or anything, it was just impossible to see until the cars were almost up.
Right.
That was an exaggeration, but I couldn't see more than half a block away. Where are we?
It's tricky because these two talk with each other as they should, and if I put something in here, it's there, and that has stopped. But I'm also using this for the hotspot to be able to do internet here.
And,
And that's what was blocking the message, so I turned the hotspot off,
okay, so
sent the message and turned it back on. So
the message, what message were you looking for?
I was sending Carolyn a message saying, can you join us?
For lunch?
We're
for dinner?
going out for dinner. Can you join us at Crossroads after your meeting?
Did she respond?
Not yet. She's probably in the meeting.
Okay. So that's where we are at the moment.
At the
I
moment.
am able to go to dinner with you. I will share that with you. And see, I can't speak for Lee.
I really, thank you for the invitation, but I really, I do not see what I will add anything more to your,
What have you added so far?
not much, so I'm merely an
Get a second opinion, because I'm biased.
I would be of the same opinion, but I'm going, and her presence is worth it. Well, I think.
I second.
I think sometimes people will say things, and, it generates another
That's
thought.
right.
And this lady is one of the local historians,
that is true.
and so is, Carolyn is big on, well, you teach it, even though they're retired teachers, that's what they do.
Saying retired teacher is like
They
saying
teach at
retired
this-
artist
They
Yeah.
teach at the school.
or retired photographer.
Yeah.
You don't retire from something you
And,
love.
There's always
And
something.
I'm willing, at this point, to even drive out to where this house is. I know where you're talking about.
I'm sure.
But you could go along and say, yep, that's the place.
I could really do that well.
Okay.
And Beulah Cemetery, I don't know where Beulah Cemetery is,
There.
but it's
Not
somewhere
exactly.
near.
I will not only find it online tonight, but there's a whole website called Find a Grave.
Oh, yeah, I know, fine.
And it's got the entire chart of graves where all the
Meeker.
Meekers. I learned
I know.
about that in Puyallup last year.
I know where Sally Pitzer lives, and I know where the Crawfords live, and it's high on a hill, so we ought to be able to. But it'd be something to do after we have dinner, or we can do it before.
Probably
could-
before it gets dark here, what, 2 hours?
Well,
About 9 o'clock.
why don't you, and I would suggest it be you, and ask Mrs. Hayes if you might leave your things here
Is it
and use this as a meeting place.
six-
I'm gonna
tomorrow.
take them only because I'm gonna offload these files tonight, put them on my hard drive. This is recording on a hard drive. It's just like another computer hard drive, and so all I do is take the file, slide it over here, and that cleans the memory.
So are you saying that
I'll take it with me, because
this is a
it's,
camera?
Yeah.
Of course, and your wallet,
Good idea.
but I think you need to ask Mrs. Hayes.
if we could meet tomorrow.
What is Mrs. Hayes' first name?
Brittany?
Brittany. I know
Brittany,
her
and
by
that's the woman that was working when I came in?
She's the children's librarian.
Okay,
I think you need to ask Mrs. Hayes.
No, that was Katie, yeah. Katie was the children's
Yeah.
librarian.
okay.
Get permission to leave your things, and she would
They
be
probably want to close.
7. They
Oh.
close at 7,
Oh, okay.
but her office is right down here.
I'll take them with me. It's no big deal.
It is.
I mean to take them with me.
Oh, well, all of this?
Yeah, this all.
You're used to it, huh?
I can do that in one trip.
Okay, so then you're not going to use this tomorrow? You don't,
I might. I don't have any idea.
oh, okay.
I don't know what's going to happen tonight.
You,
How would I know tomorrow?
well, do what you need to do, I suggest.
I just can't thank you enough for being so generous with your time.
We think it's fun.
For sure.
I don't think your job is fun. I think just observing and connecting with it is fun. As long as I don't have to put it together, it's fun.
Well, the another piece of the interview thing is I think that we are too shy here in America talking about our faith. It's a very touchy subject,
Yes, it
not,
is.
not unlike religion, and not unlike politics. But
Well, I don't know. They aren't
But
shy enough about that. one.
regardless of what you have faith in, some people have more faith in themselves. Some people have more faith in God. There's a lot of distance in between. But there's a moment in everybody's life that redefines who they are forever. And so the interviews I'm taking to Gail are 5 to 10 minute clips of people talking about that. And if you'd like to do that, I'm here to do that.
Here now, this moment.
Yeah,
Well, Mrs. Bowerman is far better and more succinct than I am.
well, I'll give you an
It's just
example.
like, what do you even, I'm not that very well organized in my own mind, I mean.
Don't be organized. Don't pay attention to your left brain. Go to your right brain, and it will pop into place. I was in a severe car wreck at 12 years old. I was catapulted out of the car 50 feet away and watched myself being pronounced dead by the paramedic up in the air. And what I experienced in that time, I have no fear of anything the rest of my life. I mean, the only person I've heard that's like that was my major professor at Stetson, who was one of 13 soldiers in World War II that got off a ship, the Drexler, USS Drexler, when it was cut in half by 2 kamikaze planes. It sunk in 49 seconds. He's up on deck hollering,